This is purely fictional from Bomb Bomb Comics. I was given this comic after somebody saw one of my reviews. Now I have to say that this isn't my wheelhouse. This isn't my forte. So my rating system, I do a 3 point rating system, 1 out of 10 for graphics, character, and story. But I'm action comic oriented. This is an urban psychological thriller, so it doesn't necessarily apply. Like my rating system wouldn't apply. It wouldn't be fair to rate it for him. It would just make me look bad because I'd have to give it under my scale. It would give it a low rating. So it's basically a story about somebody who's time traveling. Uh, they've been duped with drugs, or duped as it is, poisoned with drugs by some unknown force, and they're time traveling, or they're basically in a comic book and they don't realize it. So it's definitely a psychological thriller. There isn't any action here. So it starts off with this guy working at this warehouse, and he hates his boss, burns the place down. This book needs a forward. All I can do is offer constructive criticism. The book needs a forward because it's disorienting. It starts off with a vertigo here, and that's well met. But as we go down, the speech bubbles are too small, and I would like to show you the contrast. This is one of my pages from my Bastards of the Universe. See how the words I created a composition using the speech bubbles. They're not an afterthought. They're part of the graphics. And I try to make the words jump out so it forces you to read. It's a very easy read. It's an action comic, so like I love manga, but I don't agree with the manga size of all the text. It irritates me. Um, I have very good eyesight close up, and I have to squint to read at these text bubbles, and I don't like that. So it was a little difficult. See how Danger Flammable is easy to read. So back to the story. The guy burns down his boss's building, blows it up. He's traveling. He's disoriented. He meets up with this girl. Long story short of it, I mean the art is unique to the artist. I don't think he should change it. I think he should stay with his art. Maybe refine it a little bit. Definitely work on the compositions and the font. And this would be really interesting if it was animated with uh, tapered like movement for like the hair and stuff. So, like just stuff's off. Like if this was like done in cartoon form, and I would recommend googling Liquid Television or O Canada, because it definitely seems like it would be part of that. It could fit right in with that motif. But it definitely needs a forward. Again, I'll state that again for the record. So he's going. There was a big fire. See, he's being haunted by the action of burning down the his boss's building. He meets up with a girl. She dukes his, or whatever you want to call it. She poisons his water, and now there's a brawl in the bar. Okay, purely fictional. I did read most of it, although I did skim through some of it. I don't know if I missed any key plot points, but he basically. Why don't I remember any of this? He's melting. Like I thought this was his power. I thought this melting power was his ability at first. But as it turns out, he's not a superhero. He's just hallucinating, and he's 4 years in the future. He doesn't know why, and he tells a doctor. He tells a doctor that right here, this is the last page. Welcome, evil. Your answers await you. Look, I'm not really sure what's going on. Have a seat. Okay, to tell me what's on your mind. I'll probably go to prison. And at the end, he says, I completely threw a cigarette, flammable chemicals. It goes around this time travel, and it starts off with burning of the building. Existence is purely fictional. You're a comic book. You're in a comic book, so I don't know if that's supposed to add a level of surrealism, or I'm ill-equipped to judge this book, but I'm just giving it a review to give it some exposure. Again, Liquid Television, research it. If this was animated with like stuff should be off, like in the background, like a picture should be spinning or something. Like you're looking like what's wrong with this? Like the floor should be moving here. Like I'd have the tiles slowly creeping away and coming forward. But definitely like it definitely has a style of Liquid Television. So I can't rate this. But there it is. And there's a review of it. I hope that helps.